we're always talking down there. And just good. Does anybody remember the baseball groundskeeper who did tomato plants? Anybody remember that? Anybody from the area? It's Moore Memorial Stadium. The groundskeeper was famous for growing his tomatoes. I'm pretty famous myself for growing tomatoes. Not down there, but so we're going to start growing our own down there. Are we going to sustain 71,000 people? No. But we do have a nice area that we can start some gardening. So yeah, we are going to promote that we grew these tomatoes or these whatever. And we'll get them out to the fans in a small portion. What I also learned this morning that I didn't know until I left, Aramark again is now donating food, waste food, to some organizations post-game. I've learned a lot about that the last couple of years. It used to be frowned upon just for the lawyers. The lawyers didn't like it, I'll be honest. The lawyers don't like you giving away food. But they fixed that. There's a waiver you can sign now. So we do. I didn't get enough details to share it with you, but we do package and send out some of our food before it goes in the dumpster after the game. Another project I'm looking at, I'm hoping to get this pulled off this year. This is a local guy too, believe it or not. He's right down the street from us. We discovered him by accident. But he kind of got our eye because got the solar, got the wind, and this is actually enough to power that pole all by itself. So if it takes the light pole off the grid, to me it's a good thing. It's very hard to find solar that does have a good payback, in my opinion, but if it takes it off the grid, it is a payback. So we're hoping to get a couple of these in our parking lot this year. The Ravens like to market. We all know that. That's what sports are about. They saw that top win thing as a potential, marketing tool. Again, something else I hope to have in place before the season starts is a couple just to test. These are pretty big. I think University of Maryland did a couple. I'd like to get some feedback because I've been getting some resistance internally about putting these in, but I do think it's one of those things, if you put it in, then somebody might think about actually buying the vehicle, not the other way around. So they're very cheap to put in, so I'm hoping to get that one done in the next couple months. I mentioned when I first came here, somewhere back on one of the early websites, they mentioned this on the website when it was top secret. So we didn't know how it leaked out. It's not as top secret as it was, but we're still keeping it as low-key as we can. Leadership and energy, excellence, and design, correct? Hey, I finally got it down. Stadium Authority just completed Coppin. We did a job over Coppin University. That was our first lead project that we did as an outfit. And our capital team pulled it off and got the certification.
What level?
Silver. So all the things I showed you, and I didn't have a lot of time to show you I didn't get to go down to the minutiae, but just sitting down in the last year, looking at what we did over the last 5 years, somebody just threw out there, you ought to go for a LEED certification. So we started doing some research. A couple of things we learned. No other football stadium, professional NFL in the country has acquired this certification, new or old. I can tell you the Meadowlands came close but fell short. We have an application in for a LEED existing. Silver, we think we can achieve, even though gold, believe it or not, is not that far off, which surprised us after we went through the analysis that gold is achievable. So by default, we're going to go, we've put the application in. We didn't do everything we did to achieve LEED. We did it because it's the right thing to do. But somebody said, now you can try the LEED things. So not only the first NFL stadium, state employee, I'd like to be able to tell the governor I also have the first state existing building certification. So we'll know more. I think Eileen's going to I'm not going to give you too much because I don't want to let you down, but we have a goal, and again, this is more for everybody that worked hard doing what we did the last 5 years down there. This would be their thing, not my thing, because the last thing I can tell you is Jeff did not do all this. I have a very core group down there who worked very hard and put up with a lot of Jeff to make sure this stays in place. Because here's the secret about sustainability, at least in my opinion. Getting there is easy. I found that to be the case. At least getting there is easy. Maintaining is the difficult part. So when I talked about tracking and trending and looking at what you're spending and what you're using and your utilities, they're great meetings to go to every month and say, hey, look, we're still going down. But look out when you start going back up again without a good reason. So it's maintaining what we achieved, and that's been the most difficult part for me the last year is the fear that the grass will start going up, and then and we did something wrong. But again, it just came to us naturally. So I would conclude by saying the blog was a little off base. If the lights are on in the building, there's a reason, not because we just keep them on all night and waste electricity. Besides just doing an event, the only other reason the building might have some things on is because the fire marshal will not allow me to have them off, and I'm not going to argue with the fire marshal. But he has come in and let us turn some things off if you get to know the fire marshal. So sustainability is a partnership. Your building here, your campus, it's got to be a partnership. Or don't do it. That'd be my advice. But I hope that's enough. I mean, Helene and I, we're passionate about it, but it's hard to share our passion unless you're actually down there every day with us. So,